Lindsay, I have a question for you.
Okay, go ahead. What's the question, Aubrey?
What is something you do every day?
Every day I take my dog for a walk because he needs to get out, he needs the exercise, and I need the exercise as well. Right? I need to
Right? You do
move.
that every single day?
Basically, yes, every
Yeah.
single day. He needs to be
Yeah, he
out,
needs to get out.
It's quite a commitment having a dog.
Yes. We are answering a really interesting question about this, the difference between every single day and every day. And also, every day we use two different ways. I'm excited to dive into this today.
Yeah, what about you, Aubrey? What is something in your daily routine that you do every day?
Hmm. I wake my kids up for either school or sports every single day because I
Wow.
have school days, we're waking them up. Saturdays and Sundays, they have sports early in the
Oh
mornings
my
always.
gosh.
So every morning we're waking up early.
Soon they have to get their own alarm clocks, so you don't have to
I
do that.
know, right? I
Yeah.
like to wake them up with a snuggle, and they're
Aw.
grumpy if they don't get, like, a little snuggle in the
Aw,
morning,
that's
so
nice.
until they won't let me snuggle them anymore, I wake
Yeah.
them up with a little morning snuggle.
Aw. I love that. We're getting into a great I feel like a lot of students have this question. Today's episode is inspired by a question, but before we really get into the details here, Aubrey, we have an important announcement about something coming very, very soon and something our listeners should do right now to be on top.
Yes.
Yes.
We're excited about this is our new course, Professional Level 1. We interviewed 7 native speakers from
Mhm.
all different parts of the country, one person from the UK. So you are hearing real professional English, and you're also getting amazing business advice.
Yeah, these are successful native speaking professionals who are at the top of their game, the top of their industries, people that work with executives, people that work in technology, project managers, people that are in positions where many of our listeners are currently or want to be. And that's who we
Yes.
should be listening to and learning from. And that is the foundation of this course. But there's so much more too. We'll be going into tactics for meetings, tactics, grammar, vocabulary, structure for meetings, stand up meetings, syncs, things like that, speaking and fluency. A lot of this is going to be happening inside this course and learning more about socializing and small talk, how we can get to know our colleagues. We've got everything that we need in there, Aubrey, but what should our listeners do to get kind of an edge to make sure they get the access near at the beginning? They get the access right away to this course as soon as it's available.
Yes, you want to get on the list, and we will notify you as soon as this course is finished and ready. Spoiler, it's a very soon. So get on the list,
Mhm.
allearsenglish.com/professional.
Yes, I'm so excited for our listeners to dive into our leveled professional series. It's going to be fantastic. So, Aubrey, shall we let our listeners know what the question is for today?
Yes, this was a question on YouTube. It was from YTWN1VG. All of our YouTube social media names are often not our name. And the question was, what is the difference between every single day and every day? Ooh, a great
Yeah,
question.
it's a great question and important to start at this level B2, C1. We're starting to articulate this. Like when you asked me that question, you do that every single day. I stopped and I was thinking, do I do it every single day? Yes, I do. Right. It's a different question in a way. It's furthering
Yes.
the conversation, kind of.
Exactly. So we're going to dive into both of these today with lots of examples. And we're also adding the adjective every day, which is written slightly different, has a different meaning that we
Mhm.
also use in English. And we're also sharing a fun, interesting culture note about American culture and that word.
Oh, we've got a lot of good stuff for today. So let's get right
Yes.
into it. So when we separate, when we say every day, and it's two words, it's the adjective and noun. What are the scenarios here, Aubrey?
Yes. This just means each day. So, for example, I have to do laundry every day or it really piles up. Yeah.
Mhm. Love it. Or every day I try to do some kind of exercise.
Yeah,
Yes.
every day you take Kiefer for a walk, right? There are a lot of things
Yes.
that we do every day. But
Mhm.
what is really tricky is this second option. We have the adjective every day that is written as one word, and it means common, ordinary, routine,
Mhm.
or common, ordinary, or routine. So, for example, if you're going dress shopping,
Yeah.
you might say, this is kind of an ordinary everyday dress. I'm looking for something chic, something special.
Yeah.
So here it doesn't mean each day, it means common, not unique.
Yes, an everyday dress. And, to be honest, a lot of native speakers make the mistake and they'll write everyday dress as two words. They treat it the same way. Often they don't know that it's brought together as one word.
Yes,
everyday
this is a
dress.
common native
Mhm.
speaker spelling mistake. Absolutely, right?
Mhm.
They realize when they're saying it that it has a different meaning, but they might not realize that it's written slightly differently.
Exactly. So by knowing this, guys, you'll be ahead of the game, ahead of right, probably 50 or 60% of native speakers,
Right,
right?
maybe more. Yes, awesome.
Oh gosh.
And we
Yeah.
wanna share a fun culture note here. This word everyday, sometimes you'll hear the phrase everyday people, which just means like normal average people, common
Yeah.
people, right? And
Mhm.
it is a very famous song that was written in 1968
Mm.
by and performed by Sly and the Family Stone.
Okay.
You probably have heard this song, but the lyrics were actually really powerful, especially at the time in 1968 in the US.
Yeah.
There was a lot of discrimination, a lot of
Right.
racism, and
Mhm.
these lyrics were a very powerful message. Some of the word it says, "I am everyday people." So to
Uh-huh.
use it in that way, right? Not saying we are everyday people. Say I am everyday people, and it was
Huh.
saying like I'm no better
Yeah.
than you, and neither are you. We are the same, whatever we do. It was a message against discrimination and racism.
Interesting. Yeah, I never knew kind of where that song came from or the backstory behind it. So it's kind of cool to know this, Aubrey.
I know. I didn't really either. I hadn't thought about it. I've heard this song a million times. And then
Mhm.
when I was looking up, like, what are some of the interesting ways we use every day, besides just everyday dress, everyday clothing?
Mhm.
And not only that, the bridges of the song contain the line, different strokes for different folks.
Yep.
And that lyric has become a popular catchphrase. I
Okay.
still hear it now. I'll hear people say that if people disagree, it's another way to say agree to disagree,
Right.
just to say, oh, different strokes for different folks.
And often people will just say, different strokes, right? We shorten
Yes,
those
we shorten it to
expressions.
different strokes.
And then there was
Exactly.
that TV show. And when did that TV show come out? Did it come out in 1969 or was it later? Do you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was a little bit later,
Okay.
but this catchphrase, it did inspire the television series Different Strokes. I believe
Mhm.
it came out in the '70s. Did you ever watch that
Cool.
show?
I haven't. No, but I think I
You'll have
know
to
who's
check it
in it.
out, and it
Yeah.
would be
Uh-huh.
fun for our listeners to see it. It really is an interesting window
Yeah.
into US culture, and
Yeah.
kind of awesome that it inspired that show.
Yeah, it's really cool to start with music from a certain time period, then look at the lyrics and go backward of what was happening in the US at that time or the world, then learn key
Yes.
vocabulary. Very
Yeah,
cool.
and awesome to see what vocabulary it inspired that is
Mhm.
now part of our vernacular. You'll hear it pretty often.
Amazing. Okay, so that is just a little culture note. Love it. Do we want to move on to when we say every
Yeah, let's do it.
single day? I mean, when you said that to me, I questioned whether am
Good
I
to
telling
think
the
about
truth
it.
here?
Do
Yes,
I
I
do
do.
it
He has to
every
go to the
single
bathroom.
day?
Like,
Yeah,
you know.
because this is emphasizing or expressing either surprise that something
Mhm.
happens every day or just emphasizing that it does happen every single day, right?
Yes, exactly. So, for example, every single day I have to do laundry or it will pile up. Oh gosh.
Yeah, and this is the same example I used with every day, but if I'm wanting to emphasize that I cannot miss a day, then I would say
Mhm.
every single day I have to do
Hmm.
laundry.
Yeah. Or do you check the mail every single day? I check mine maybe once a week. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and the intonation's interesting. You can just be like, "Do you check your mail every single day?" But we often will emphasize with our intonation as well.
Right.
Like, "Do you check the mail every single day?" We sort of slow
Slow
down to
down.
emphasize.
Mhm. And that's when people they think a bit more, right? Do you do that every single day, right? This
Exactly.
idea of exercising, maybe lifting weights or something, taking a
Mhm.
vitamin, those are things,
Yeah.
right?
I'm
Mhm.
curious about this for you, actually. I check my mail maybe even once every other week, once a
What?
month.
Are you
I
serious?
know. What
What
about you? Do
once
you
a
check
month
your
you
mail
check
every
your mail?
day?
I check my mail every day for sure. Oh, yeah. We have a
Sometimes,
little
because I just don't
mailbox.
get much in the mail that I need, right? All bills are
Oh.
online. I don't get, like, letters. It's just junk mail. So sometimes I'll actually get a notice from the post office. It's like, "You have to pick up your mail at the post office because your mailbox was too full and we couldn't fit
Really?
anything else in there."
That's so funny. Oh, no, I'm
I
not
try
that
to not do that at least. That's a huge inconvenience for them.
I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. I still get excited about checking the mail.
Okay.
It's right outside of our door. It's like so easy. Maybe that's the difference. Is
That
your
helps. Ours is
mailbox
down the
way
street.
down the street? Okay, that's
Too
what
late. I don't
it
have time for that.
is. Yeah, no, I love checking the mail. It's fun. A little. What is it? What's going to be there? Right?
Yeah, it's true. A
So
little present,
yeah,
hopefully, if you ever get anything good.
right. Okay, Aubrey, we're back for a role play. So here we're at a dog park. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right.
Yes. Wanna
All right.
start us out?
Yeah. Hey, fancy seeing you here.
Hi, I love this park.
Do you come here often? I bring Kiefer every day, and I don't think we've ever seen you.
Yeah, well, I don't come every single day, but pretty often. I don't have a dog, but I like to come and watch them play.
I get it. Dogs have so much joy and energy. It's a fun everyday activity to just walk over here and hang out. Yeah, sometimes it's a
Nice.
little
Love
creepy.
this.
It's a little creepy when
Is
we're in
that
the
creepy
dog
that I
park
would just
and
go and, like, watch
yeah,
the dogs
it's a
playing?
little creepy. Sometimes we'll realize there's someone in the dog park that doesn't have
That
a
doesn't
dog.
have
We're
a
like,
dog?
"Is
Like,
this
what are
a
you
dog
doing?
napper? What's happening here?"
Oh, I can see that. I'm envisioning because where I live, a lot of the dog parks are right by a kid's playground. So, like,
Okay.
I've taken my kids to the playground, and
Yeah.
they're old enough, I don't really need to supervise them, so I'll, like,
No.
watch the dogs playing.
No, but but on your side though, I totally understand that. There's nothing more joyful than watching dogs play.
Totally.
So,
Yes, but that
legitimate
would be kinda creepy to just be, like, hanging out in the dog park
if
without a
you're like the
dog.
dog mom, you're like, "What are you doing here?"
Yes, right? Don't steal my dog.
Right, exactly. All right, this is good. So I said, "Hey, do you come here often? I bring Kiefer every day, and I don't think we've ever seen you." And I love how I'm
Yeah, and I
saying "we"
said
because I'm talking from the perspective of
yes.
me and my dog. Love that.
I think you would say that,
I would
right? I'd say, like,
actually.
"We come here every day, me and my dog."
Yes, I probably would. And
I
then what
love it.
did you say?
I said, "Well, I don't come every single day, so because you're saying I come every day,
Mhm.
I'm sort of trying to emphasize, like, I come most days, but not every single day."
Mhm. Love it. Love it. And again, slowing down. Well, I don't come every single day, right? The intonation, the delivery feels different, right?
Exactly, and it's interesting to look at why you would maybe have said every day. Like, you often will say every day when maybe we actually do that, 4 or 5 times a week max,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
don't really mean every single day sometimes when we say every day. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
I think the minimum would be 4 to 5 times a week
At
to say
least.
every day,
Yeah. You're
right?
not gonna say
Yeah,
if you do something once a week, you wouldn't
right.
say, "I do this every day."
Or even 2 or 3. But if it's 4 or 5, you
Exactly.
cross over into pretty much every day, right?
Yeah, we're exaggerating.
Pretty
We
much
love
every
to
day.
exaggerate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big thing in American English. And then I said, I get it. Dogs have so much joy and energy. Isn't that true? Right. It's
So
a
true.
fun everyday activity. And here we're using this as an adjective and we're making one word every day.
Yeah, it's written as one word every day, and here it means common, just like a routine activity, an everyday activity, something you do all
Mhm.
the time.
Yeah. And important to note the difference in intonation when I have it as two words versus an adjective with one word. I bring Kiefer every day, right? Versus it's a fun everyday activity.
It's
Everyday
true, we
activity.
squish them together more. It would
Mhm.
be very strange here to pause to say it's a fun everyday activity because it's
Right.
one word, there's no space between them, so we run it together more.
Yeah. And like we said earlier, if you can master just this piece about every day as an adjective and one word, you'll be ahead of at least 50% of native speakers. Okay. At least when it comes
Exactly.
to writing. Yeah.
Yes, and luckily, it's not written very often, which is
Right.
why a lot of native English speakers don't realize that. They don't see it written
Yeah.
very much,
Yeah.
right?
It's true.
But it's true, now that you know that, you've got a leg up on a lot of native English speakers.
All right, guys, go on over to allersenglish.com/professional. Get on that list. This is your last chance to get on the early access list. So you will be the very first to know when this course becomes available. Again, we're getting into meetings, socializing, and small talk. And there's a very heavy emphasis on fluency and speaking. So you're practicing the activities that you are learning. You're practicing them in our community, and there's practice as well in terms of our weekly open conversation club that's available to all students. So go to allersenglish.com/professional to get on the list and we'll tell you about it when it's ready. All right.
Yes, don't forget students
Okay.
in any one of our courses get these amazing live speaking opportunities. It's
Yes.
so fun. We love meeting our students, chatting with
Mhm.
them. It's the best. So yeah, go to
Yeah.
allersenglish.com/professional to get on the list.
Yeah. Get on the list. Now, Aubrey, where should we leave our listeners today?
Yeah, these words every day can be tricky because it has two different meanings that are written slightly differently. And then, of course, you can add single to emphasize or express surprise. But these are really fun to connect in English, to share. What do you do every single day and
Oh,
why? Right?
yeah. We've been talking a lot about sharing our morning routines. Michelle and I did a series on morning routines, evening routines. This kind of falls into that category of connection around everyday activities. It is mundane, but it's not because you learn what you have in common with people, right?
Absolutely. It's interesting. I ask people this a lot. What's
Yeah,
something you do every single day?
it's
What do you
very
do
cool.
every morning? What's the first thing you do when you
Mhm.
get up?
We can learn so much about people. So
Yes,
good for connection.
interesting.
Yeah, love it. All right, Aubrey, we'll see you back on here very soon. Have a good one.
Awesome. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.